All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Calderon. I work with Workforce Solutions Capital Area, and I am a career and education outreach specialist. Today, you guys are joining us for a unique opportunity. We are doing a series of career education webinars, and today we have a collaboration with Austin Energy, and we have some guest speakers to talk about some careers in demand and give you a great inside look.
Good morning. My name is Keith Fleming. I'm a power system engineer senior at Austin Energy in our relay design group in our ESD division, electric service delivery division at Austin Energy. It's a pleasure to be here this morning.
Awesome. The pleasure is over here. We're a pleasure to have you guys and tell us a little bit about your career and the inside of everything. So we'll go ahead and have a series of questions that I'm going to ask Keith about his position with Austin Energy. And then at the end, if you guys have any comments below, be sure to chat those down and we will be able to answer those for you. So first, you gave us the title of your career as well as your place of employment. Could you tell us a little bit about that job and what you do?
For Austin Energy, Austin Energy as a whole, just kind of keep it real general, keeping the lights on. As far as keeping the lights on, what I do in the electric service delivery department, I design pretty much relay panels. And what those relay panels do, they're just programmable devices that, tells you how much current, how much voltage you got on the circuit, and if there's anything that happened out on the line, hey, we're going to try to protect our equipment and we're going to open a breaker or close a breaker. So I don't want to get too deep into it, but pretty much in a nutshell, we keep the lights on and we do it safely.
Okay, so it sounds like your main responsibilities is to keep everyone safe and keep the lights on. Could you tell us a little bit about what a typical workday is for you?
A typical workday for me, do I just started Austin Energy, or you want something that incorporates everything from family life? Because working for the city, it is a work-life balance, and I do appreciate that with Austin Energy in the city of Austin.
hmm Yeah, if maybe about your work hours or kind of like your location, if you're at different places.
So for me, I live in Round Rock, so my commute to work is pretty bad considering traffic, but I
Yeah.
get there safely. So once I get to work, check emails, communicate with my work group on, anything that may have come up overnight, because, our operations is pretty much a 24/7 deal, keeping the lights on. So we have something have called a shift report. And that shift report gives us details of key things that happen on the system. So just me, I review that to see if any changes happen, any of my projects were affected. So I come in, I do that, check emails, communicate with my supervisors, my teammates on ongoing projects. Some days, my days are full of meetings, and most of the time, I would say maybe 3 times out of a week, I'm in my office working on my particular projects. No meetings, but I do have that time to focus in on what I'm working on. And of course, lunch. But a day may come up where I need to go out into the field to a substation and look at one of my projects, look at the equipment involved, see what's missing, see what needs to be added to my drawings that I'm working on. And,
Mhm.
like I said, one key thing about Austin Energy, we want to be safe. And so when I go out into the field, may need to put on my personal protective equipment, hard hat, safety glasses, steel toe boots, everything to be safe. That way, the way I came into work, the way I want to come home.
Mhm.
So that's a typical workday for me. Emails, working on my project, communicating with my coworkers, going out to the field, um, and going home, be on with my family.
Okay, so is that a 8 to 5 or is that?
It's 8 to 5, just depending on what. Most of the time, 8 to 5. I
Mhm.
may get locked in on a certain particular project, and it may be longer than that, but most of the time it's 8 to 5.
Okay, good,
And
good.
my
And those are the traffic hours that you're talking about.
Yeah, my work hours are 8:30 to 5:30. It used to be 8 to 5, but I found out just living in Round Rock, because I moved to Round Rock 4 years ago. I found out if I leave my house at a certain time, it wouldn't take me as long to get to work because traffic is going to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same thing in the afternoon. If I leave a little bit later, let the rush get out of there, I won't be on the road as long.
Yeah, so you can contest to that's a commuter lifestyle.
Yes.
Good. Okay. And how long have you been with the city?
In February, I made 13 years with the city of Austin,
Wow, look
Georgia
at that
Falls
longevity.
Energy. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's something to be proud of.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, in your current position right now, what level of education or experience is required to obtain that position?
I guess, like I said, I'm a power system engineer senior. That calls for a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. Um, I think for the title, it doesn't have to be electrical engineering. It can be another field of engineering, such as mechanical or civil. But for me, electrical 4-year bachelor degree, electrical engineering, and also I guess for what I do, I have a Texas issued professional engineering license as well, which PE license takes, I guess, 4 years of working under a professional engineer, as well as years of experience to obtain that. And then you also have to, take a test, a state issued test. So it's not too hard, but it's some things that need to be put in place to reach the level of power system engineer senior.
Okay, awesome. Wow, that's fantastic. It definitely isn't a hop, skip, and a jump, but it is something that you definitely work towards, and I'm sure it pays off in the long run. What are some technical or academic skills that are required for your position?
Technical academic skills, I would say, at least for what I do, you need some team working skills,
Hmm.
definitely problem solving. Um, I guess technical writing skills is a plus. I held a position where I would report and document issues that would happen on the system, and identifying exactly what is wrong and using those technical skills to communicate what you're trying to say very well in a written format as well. So, and that's another thing I would say. Yes, communication, technical and oral, technical, oral, and written, shall I say? So you want to get your point across. I would say also say project management skills is a plus.
Okay.
So and I think I already said team working skills.
Yes.
So I think that's about it that I could think of off the top of my head.
Okay, so if you had ran into a teacher who was teaching an engineering class or electrical class in high school, what advice would you give them saying, like, this is what you need to teach your students, this is what we're doing out here, this is what's going to be critical and help them, this is what we're looking for. If you had, something to say to them, what advice would you give that teacher?
Um, I would say be creative in the classroom. Apply like your what you're learning. Let's say in math, because math is a big part of engineering.
Okay.
Try to use real life work examples of how you apply what you're learning. Let's say algebraic equation. You're learning different equations. Include some stuff like we use. I think what is it? Ohm's law. Um, where we're trying to determine voltage, current, resistance, and stuff. Try to come see what we do. I guess is what I would say, and see how you can bring that information back to your classroom and give some real life examples. I never forget I was in college sitting in one of my math courses. Might have been differential equations or something like that, but our teacher, our professor, he spoke in a real life world and gave us a problem to do, and I found it very interesting and wanted to see more information about that particular field. But that's what I would say. What we're doing out here, see if you can kind of come see what we do and bring that information back to the classroom, whether we're learning about solar, or we're learning about power, or you're learning about teaching about power plants, and just give don't. I guess we don't have to get into the deep into things, but just a general overview of different fields and see how you can take something, let's say from solar, or if you're working with math, with your algebraic equations, and apply it in a way that they can kind of understand what we do here at Austin Energy, or
Mhm.
let's say another field, Austin Water, what they do, or if you want to visit. But I think the city probably will be open maybe to that. I'm not sure, but I think that would be a great idea.
Okay. Yeah, maybe after the pandemic and everything, I know field trips are a little difficult for classes, and we throw events
Yes.
and we invite school districts, and they're like, "Oh, we need 60 days to get transportation together, get subs together," and I'm like, this is a big old case, just to get somebody here. So if they have those barriers, is there anything else that you could recommend them, like any virtual stuff online, any live webinars that can help them see what you're doing without having to do like a field trip per se?
Um, I would say YouTube probably would be a good source,
Okay.
especially with solar. I would imagine a lot of things are on YouTube for solar, and
Okay.
just to get some general information, I think would be good. It's all on the internet, so
Awesome. Okay. So materials that you would recommend would be YouTube for them, so that way they can kind of get a glance at that and see and
yes,
bring that into the classroom. Okay, cool.
yeah.
And how has technology affected your position right now?
Working from home.
Hmm.
um,
Allowing you to do so?
yes, yes, yes. Prior to this pandemic, I've been able to, remote in and seek information off the AE network that I needed for my job. I used to be on call, and I would have to log in late at night or early in the morning for different reasons. But definitely this pandemic, um, during this pandemic, I would say, the different what you have Zoom, you got Microsoft Teams.
Mhm.
What's crazy is I've always used WebEx, and I recently got a new laptop, I guess back in October, I think it was, and I saw something on there called Microsoft Teams, and I had no idea what it was, and didn't even think about using it until now, and it works great. So I would say definitely right now during the pandemic, the different teleworking and meeting softwares we've been using. Um, I think I mentioned that I have a Texas PE license with in which that comes with a seal with my name and different projects I issue. I'm able to apply my seal to that drawing. And when I did receive my PE license, I got my certificate, and a part of that was I was able to go down to the store, not just any store, but a print store, and I was able to get a seal with my name on it and my PE license number on there. And when I issue projects, you're supposed to, take the ink and put the stamp in ink and seal your drawings. Well, now what we do it electronically.
Oh,
So we may issue anywhere from 50 to 60, 50 to 100 or 200 drawings and have to seal each drawing. So
wow.
with the way of technology now, you can kind of just do it through PDF and apply your digital seal
Hmm.
instead of stamping each page. So that's something major right there.
Yeah, that's groundbreaking, time saving, but it almost takes away the instant gratification of you physically putting the stamp, but at least you're able to still do so.
You're still able to do so, but yeah. So that's one way technology has affected different things that we do, and it's always growing. Even in the substation, some of the equipment that we use inside the substation, you got your transformers, you got your circuit breakers,
Mhm.
um, you got bus bar, you got all kinds of things. And there's a control house inside that yard. Inside the control house, we have anything from it could be a computer to different intelligent devices, which is just basically a box with hardware inside of it. And over the years, the size of those boxes have gotten smaller and smaller and smaller as technology has advanced. And
Mhm.
even though they get smaller, you're able to do more things, more programming to, let's say, protect the system and apply new strategies. So that's one way that's a couple of ways I would say over the years technology has advanced in our field.
Awesome. Well, that's a lot in your 13 years, and I'm sure there's more to come as you grow with the company as well. What are some positive aspects about your job that you enjoy?
Um, for my job, I would say work-life balance. My job, I wouldn't, I'm not gonna say it's not demanding, but I don't have to worry about not being at home at night, being home with my family. and during the day get my work done. I would say flexibility, benefits, and I think I mentioned earlier, the way I come in is the way I leave. Being safe. We Awesome Energy. Um, our main goal, I think, right now is safety. Just being safe out on the job, safe, being safe at home. So
Mhm.
those are some positive aspects I see at the city. Should I say Awesome Energy?
Yeah, well, fantastic. Those sound amazing. I love that. What advice would you give a student who is interested in your career? Maybe they have a really good time in physics and in their electrical class and their engineering classes, and they're looking at your career field. What is something that you would say to them that you could tell yourself back when you were in high school?
I guess if you put it like that, I would say if it's something you want to do, seek it. When I was in high school, my initial thought was I want to be an engineer. I want to design bridges. I want to do this. I want to do all kinds of stuff. I want to be an engineer. And I kind of got talked out of it and went in a different direction. And I guess about a year into my about a year and a half into my college education, I was doing physical therapy, and just one day I decided, I said, this is not what I want to do. And I went back to what I originally wanted to do, engineering, and I'm glad I did. Um,
Hmm.
I love it. It was something I want to do. So I would say, if it's something you want to do, seek it. Get understanding as to what all it takes to go in that direction, and um, communicate with people. Um, Find someone in that particular field that's working in that field and seek advice from them. Get a mentor. That's what I would say.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you for that story. I love that so much. You're like, no, I could have been a physical therapist right now, but I made a U-turn. It went back to my dream. That's awesome. What would you recommend teachers to do to strengthen the relevance of your career field into school? Whether it's if they're teaching engineering or physics or if they have any type of class that they're teaching math in.
Seek information from us at the city. I don't think there will be a problem finding out, hey, what are you guys working on? And, just send it out maybe in an email or through our HR department. I don't know, communicate with us and see if we can give you some real life experiences that you can bring back to your classroom. That's what
Okay,
I
so
would
don't
say.
be afraid to reach out.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, they will love that because I know sometimes when I communicate with teachers, they're like, well, I just don't want to bother, so and so, or I don't want to ask. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do if you don't ask? There's the worst thing they could tell you is no or not respond. That's not that hard. So thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. And the last couple questions I have are for you. So would you be willing to participate on an academy advisory board?
I saw that question. What would all be involved in that?
Well, I
Um,
think they're trying to create it right now, but ultimately, what we would want from you is your just perspective on things. So, your feedback on K through 12 initiatives. So, kind of how we're going to get these careers that are in demand in Central Texas to focus more into the schools. So, what could we do? And you're saying, contact a city, have real life experiences, see what we're working on, get a speaker to come out there. These are all things that you would still continue to share going forward with relevance to your in-demand career. So we can provide you with more information if you want that before you give us an answer. Completely
sure,
understandable. But
sure.
ultimately, that's kind of the direction that we're going into.
No, no, it sounds good. I would definitely consider it. So, if you could pass on some more information to me, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And would you be willing, besides this webinar, which we appreciate you doing, would you be willing to and have the time to speak into schools after the pandemic, obviously, a little bit, maybe to an engineering class or to a circle of students who are interested in your career field?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'm open to that.
Okay, great. And how about a student job shadow? Is that something that your job would allow for you to bring in?
Now that I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Like I said, one big thing I know we are big on is safety, and
Mhm.
one, being in the office, I don't think just being focused in my office, I don't think that's something they would really.
A good selling point. Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't
but
want to lose them.
I do think like different tours to like different parts of Austin Energy, like maybe our control center, or I mean, this a substation. That's kind of iffy because we want to be safe and things can happen out in the field, and you need protective equipment to put on. So as far as physically just shadow me, there's one thing I don't think it would be interesting enough to hold their attention, but I do think maybe if some kind of tour or something was organized, maybe a little bit bigger than me so they can get an idea of awesome energy, period.
Well, that's good direction. Thank you for that. We'll follow up with that. And earlier you had mentioned that you would recommend a high school student to find a mentor and to kind of, that was your way of things. Would you be interested in mentoring a student who was interested in going into your career field?
Sure, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's no problem. Like I said, when I was speaking on my own experience going in the physical therapy direction,
Yeah.
I decided a piece of that story is I said physical therapy is not for me.
Hmm.
And I went undecided for like a semester. And one thing I communicated with a gentleman that was, I guess, a few years ahead of me in high school, and he was actually finishing up an internship. And I got to speaking with him and asking him questions, and it just everything he was telling me was just sounded so interesting and what I wanted to do in the direction I wanted to go in. So if it wasn't for that communication I had that night, I don't know if I would be here today in the
Wow.
field that I'm in.
That is so powerful. Just a little bit of communication can go so long and make such an impact on your life. And I'm glad you met up with that person and had those conversations and had that light bulb, ignite. And you were just like, nope, I got to go back. No pun intended with the light bulb, but, but this is awesome. So thank you so much for being a part of this and giving us an hour of your day. I know you got a lot of stuff to do. We appreciate you. This webinar is going to be on our YouTube channel. That's going to be WFS Capital Area is our YouTube channel, and we'll be airing this. So any students that are interested in this, I'm sure all of your answers to these questions are going to help them in miles away than you can imagine. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to you and Austin Energy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And this is for our viewers. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email jessica.garay at wfscapitalarea.com or Leslie Puckett. It's leslie.puckett at wfscapitalarea.com. Thank you so much for being with us and viewing. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video and ring that bell for notifications for more webinars to come. Thank you so much.